himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Nurov in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here, but I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the out pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
it! Medeiros is going to get it! Medeiros is going to toss it! They haven't got it!
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it! Big Barry!
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you may be in the world, and welcome to the Ardennes, where we start a enthralling new chapter with the Radical Sim Racing World Series. For the SR10s this time, we're back in the SR10 for a new season. Of course, last time round we were in the SR8, the last time we went round here for the Radical Sim Racing World Series. The Europes, we have a Europe series and an American series. The American series runs a little bit later on today for, I think, for the people in the UK. That is 1 BST. For the people in Europe who are on CEST, it is 2 at night. So just some information, but we're here with the SR10 Europes, and I'm joined in the commentary booth by the one, the only, the flying Englishman of commentary, Adam Hedgecock. Welcome in. I mean, if there's one track to start your season at, I mean, I would choose Spa-Francorchamps, not only because it was like, what, an hour away from where I used to live, but also because the track has everything. It has quick corners, it has slower corners, it has straights, basically, the perfect test track for any car and the perfect track to open a season. Well, Spa-Francorchamps I kind of see as my my back garden. My real back garden would be the circuit of Zolder. That was about 10 minutes away from me. So yeah, big love for that circuit. I know about every bump, about every stone in the gravel there is. Schedule for today, of course, we have a practice session of 15 minutes that is just finished. So the checkered flag is out for this session. Then we'll go into qualifying. Qualifying, however, is a different piece of cake. Everyone has the track to themselves. 10 minutes of qualifying where you can complete 4 laps maximum. Then we'll move on to, well, the part that everyone is technically waiting for once they join in the race. 30 minutes around this track, around this 7 point, and this is what annoys me, Adam, 004 kilometer circuit. So they couldn't just take 4 meters off the circuit. Just make it a bit shorter. Make, you know, the bus stop chicane a bit shorter. And then you have exactly 7 kilometers. They didn't. Anyways, Belgian people. In total, 20 corners on this track. 10 to the right, 10 to the left. Opened all the way back in 1921. Of course, located in a beautiful Stavelot in Belgium, in the Ardennes. Where it usually we see, Adam, it kind of has its own climate, and when it's dry in the rest of Belgium and it's 30 degrees, it can be 10 degrees here and raining. Yeah, well, I agree. As disagree. Just it's 4 meters. Anyways, the man we're looking at right now, Tim Birdie, of course, regular season champion last time round in the SR8. In practice, Adam, he did show that he isn't only capable of doing it in the SR8s, but also in the SR10s. Was 4th overall in the standings there. Of course, won the regular season last time round in the SR8s with 378 points, but he didn't dominate the season. That was up to Adam Isaacson and Jürgen Frank, who in between them, or between those two, they shared 9 victories. Adam Isaacson got 5, Jürgen Frank got 4. And you ask yourself, that who got that other victory? I can tell you it's the man we're looking at right now, and the man we're going to ride on board with for a lap around this circuit, Tim Bertie. He won the last round at Circuit Imola. Everyone says because Tim Bertie and Adam Isaacson weren't there. But I believe that with the pace that Tim Bertie was driving in that race, he would have won no matter what would have happened. If they were there or not, he would have won anyways. This man, one to look out for, I say.
Disciplines. So it's no surprise to see drivers like Bertie right up there at the forefront of a championship like this. You can just see we're on board with him, just how smooth he is. He's attacking the corners, but in a real delicate but meaningful way, and that's where you get your time. It's an absolute delight to watch.
Yeah, I do have to excuse myself. When you go into OBS and you select a property, when you afterwards change the channel in Discord that you're in, you can't hear the lovely Sir Adam Hedgecock anymore. So excuse me for that. Adam is indeed here. He's alongside me in the commentary booth. Got to press that, that lovely green button that makes his microphone go live. Anyways, he is here. He is real.
Keeping everyone high.
Well, Adam, people can know you from one thing if they are known to JP Broadcasting, and that is that you make some beautiful pictures.
Oh, thank you. I do try. I know we spoke about this before the broadcast. It's actually really nice to be in the session watching these cars. I've done pictures for this league previously, and it was always great watching them kind of in a replay, but seeing them live like this, it's actually really exciting. I'm thrilled to actually get the chance to do this. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, I saw these cars for the first time in real life when I went to Mantor Park as the first times are trickling in. Rudolf Nagal on a 112, but gets beaten immediately. And here goes Tim Bertie, across the line, 112.620, sets the benchmark immediately. Like I said, this man, a force to be reckoned with. The curb on the outside, though, of the first corner. It isn't there, and it does add to the racing. The source is a completely different corner. I agree with that. If you take the curb on the outside and place it there, of course, we're talking about the yellow sausage curb that is there in real life. This is an older scan of the track. That's the reason why we don't not have it. Tim Bertie, anyways, leading the way on a 112.620, closely followed by John McCutcheon, Kjetil Larsen behind him. Then we have Jack Ashton, Rudolf Nagal, Ivan Bremer, Kai Ming, and Paul Crab, James Ibram, and Mike Buson, who rounds off the top 10. Of course, some faces that we, of course, know from last season, some faces that we know from the season we did before that in the SR10, but also some new faces. So I'm excited, Adam, to see how especially these new drivers stack up to these veterans that we can call them now.
Absolutely. It's always very intimidating and daunting when you're joining a new championship, and there's some really well-established drivers in it. I'll go back to what I said about Bertie before the viewers could hear me. When you get a driver from SimRC in your championship, you know it's going to be competitive. You know it's going to be tough. So coming into that as a new driver, you know you've got your work cut out. And of course, you have to do that learning thing where you don't necessarily know how all the other drivers are going to be driving around you. Who do you give space to? Who do you give more respect to? Who do you know you can go side by side with and not have issues? You need to learn these things, and you need to learn them quick, because otherwise you're going to find yourself right down the order and well out of the points.
I completely agree with that. Rudolf Nagal comes across the line. 3 tenths he needs. Doesn't get it. Someone who does get a couple of tenths is Luke Maxwell. Popped himself up into P2. Still needs about 2 tenths to find, though, to Tim Bertie. What we saw last season with the SRH, which is different to these SR10s, is that the car got quicker and quicker and quicker the further we got into qualifying. That doesn't seem to be the case in these SR10s. However, Kane Hilberton jumps up. Oh, he's in P25. He was purple in sector number 3. I thought for sure he was going to be at least in the top 5, but he's all the way down at the moment in P26. We've got 29 drivers here this evening, so a lot of action to catch up with within 30 minutes. If we do miss one or two things, well, you have my excuses here, but it's a bit difficult, isn't it, Adam, to kind of keep up when you have 29 drivers all fighting for the same piece of tarmac.
Absolutely it is. Again, I go back to seeing the replays from last season, how close it was, battles everywhere, and trying to keep on top of that, even seeing what pictures you want to be taking from them, was a hard job to be doing. So, you know, seeing that on track and trying to call it at the same time, we have a mammoth task, but we wouldn't have it any other way. We want excitement, we want thrills and spills, don't we?
The more souls, the more fun, I always say. You know, the more people we have in here, the more fun we're ultimately going to have. This man, it is David Walters who's going to come across the line. He's in 12th at the moment. Well, his second is about, well, is a lot to ask. He does get an improvement. A 2:13.552 shoots him up one position, gets past Mike Boson. As you can see also on the left-hand side in that lovely timing tower. Lots of different nationalities. We have Italians, we have Norwegians, we have people from the UK, we have people from Ireland, we have people from Portugal, Netherlands, Austria, you name it. Even Scotland and Germany. Of course, Germany. How can you forget Germany? Tim Bertie, the man at the moment in the lead. He's gone into pits. I think what has happened here is that he has realised he can't improve any further. Of course, qualifying is coming to an end. We've only got about 50 seconds left. So if you start your lap now, you're never going to be able to finish it. And kind of an unwritten rule here for me, Adam, is if you know you're not going to be able to finish the lap, do not attempt to try and improve. One man who is attempting to try and improve and maybe gets up into the top 5 is Kane Hilberton, and he does. He goes up to pole position, 2:12.171. That is a 4.5 gap to Tim Bertie, champion from last season. What an astonishing lap time that is. I did not expect the gap to be that big, but you knew with a purple sector in his last run and the 3 purple sectors that you saw on screen, it was going to be a banger of a lap, and a 2:12.171 concludes it, I think, for qualifying, Adam.
Perfect time to do it, wasn't it? Right at the end, we'd already seen Bertie had gone back to the pit lane, so he wasn't going to challenge it, but nearly half a second. That is outstanding. What a drive from Halliburton.
That is a mammoth gap and a half, I would say. Let's take a look then at the grid for this evening. It is indeed our new driver, Kane Hilberton, with a 2:12.171, 4.5 tenths quicker than Tim Bertie from SimRacing. So you know that he's going to have good chances in the race with that gap. If he can keep up that pace, we'll see. 30 minutes he has to survive at least. Luke Maxwell P3, Jack Ashton P4, John McCutcheon P5, Kettle Larson 6, Rudolf Nagal 7th, Iwan Bremer, the Dutchman, in 8th, Kite Ming in 9th, Paul Crabb in 10th, and George Gonzaga in P11, ahead of James Ibram in P12. David Walters P13, Mike Boson P14, Gordon Haig P15, Daniel Cascado P16, Gregory in P17, Kim Andre Björklund in 18, David Rolliston in P19, Men of the Calf in P20, Glenn Christensen in P21, Damien G P22, Gary Treby 23rd, Sandro Capello 24th. 25th is Graham Brown, Guy Robertson in P26, Chris Max Davies in P27, Aaron Baba, the Belgium, racing on home soil without a qualifying lap. He was quick in practice, so must have been some off tracks there in P28, and Bastian Lindlow in P29. Quickly, before we get underway, Adam, a top 3.
I think it's going to be Bertie, Halliburton, and Ashton.
Well, there we go. I'm going to go with Tim Bertie, champion from last season, starts the season off with a good one. Then Luke Maxwell, and then Jack Ashton. The fight front lights are going to be on the gantry very, very soon. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're green for the first round. Halliburton gets off to a good start. So does Bertie. A little bit further back, it is Maxwell fighting off Ashton. Side by side, it is McHutchison and Ashton, actually. That run up into Eau Rouge now, Adam, though, is going to be a critical one further back. Ike Ming side by side, together with Kjetil Larsen. Paul Crab gets past. Behind that also side by side. You never go side by side through in the first lap, but they do. And they actually managed to make it through cleanly. They 3 wide further back. Daniele Cascado, Kjetil Larsen and James Iram all involved in it. And look at this, Adam. Well, how are you going to call this one then?
It's amazingly clean. They're still going 3, 4, 5 wide at times at the back there, but what a jump from Halliburton and Bertie. Almost, what, a second ahead of third place Maxwell already. Considering the amount of tow and slipstream you get down that Kemmel Straight, that's phenomenal driving already.
Look at this 3 wide going down into Brussels. This can't go right, can it? The one from Ray Gregory gets through. However, though, Ashton doesn't want to give that position up, does he? He's just in front of him, the green liveried. That is Greg Gregory. That Ashton is the number 1 right in front of him. Andre Björklund is also trying to make his move. Well, where do you look in this battle? It's side by side for 3 banks almost.
I'm really interested to see what happened to Ashton, because he's down 6th place already. Oh, there's contact! Contact behind. Who was that?
Björklund and McHutchinson.
Oh, wow. That was... to get that far around the lap already without contact was good going, but it was inevitable, I suppose. Well, that's such a shame for the pair of them.
Well, with the amount of fighting that was going on there, Adam, I would say that it was inevitable that there was at least going to be some contact. Not saying that it would have resulted in a spin or a crash, but, well, some contact is inevitable if the field is that close and with 29 drivers on the cards. However, it is astonishing, though, that with the amount of drivers that we have, that John McHutchinson, Sandro Capella, Chris Max, Kim Andre Björk and Guy Robertson are really the only drivers to have been in an incident.
They have, and that's, you know, fair play to the rest of the field. When you're going that hard that early, accidents do happen. It's just the way of racing. You know, these things occur. But what a start from this front 3. Look at the gap behind them already. I know there was lots of fighting, but to pull this gap, Halliburton's just settled into his groove already. He looks established, doesn't he? He looks like he wants to be racing and racing hard. Rudolph Nagel leading the charge behind them. These 3, they've got to work together. They need to try and bridge this gap, because if they try and fight between themselves, they're never going to catch up.
Here comes Paul Crab. Even Bremer also had a good start. He's up 3 positions, fends off this attack from Paul Crab. And, well, he's going to have to fight it off a couple more times, I think, in the next 26, 27 minutes. Ivan Bremer, though, I think he started all the way down in P8. Now in P5, Paul Crab up 4, James Ibram up 5. But this man, I told you he was quick. Aaron Baba up 16 positions.
You called it. You did call it. And what a first lap for him. That's incredible. Do you think when he decided that he wasn't going to do a quali lap, it was a last to first challenge? Do people really do that in championship races like this, you know, live on a broadcast? Would they? Do you think he would do that?
We've
Surely
had someone last season who actually did that. In the Europes as well as in the Americas. The man from Australia, I can't remember his name anymore. Let us know in chat if you still remember. But there was one driver who always refused to qualify, and then would just make his way forwards in the races. He said that in the SR10s it was going to be a bit different. He was actually going to fight, so we might see him later on in the Americas. 1 a.m. BST. Big crash though in the distance. That's Ivan Bremer, who's gone off Pouon, or Blanchimont, excuse me. That is a big crash for Ivan Bremer. And he is for sure out of the race with that one.
Serious damage to the car as well.
There was contact between him and Paul Crab. And that car, that front right tyre, I think, it's not cooperating with the rest of the car anymore. Brushed the front bonnet this off. So Ivan Bremer makes a trip to pit lane. Unfortunately, they were racing hard but fair up until that point. And I don't think there was any intention there with that touch. Surely with Paul Crab. We know that Paul Crab is a very clean driver, and it even looked like there was a bit of netcode involved in it. However, one man who's clear from any netcode in this race is Kane Halliburton at the moment. He's in P1, 7/10 ahead of the champion from last season, showing that he's got it in the SR10s as well, Tim Bertie.
Halliburton's got the clean road ahead of him right now, so he can just focus down, you know, look at the road ahead, pick his braking points, pick his turn in. He can do it all at his own pace. But while Bertie remains less than a second behind, the draft here, he's still in contention. He is still well in contention, and these two, they're pulling away from Maxwell behind. So Bertie, is he just biding his time? Is he just thinking, hey, it's a long race, I'm going to keep my tyres in check, I'm going to relax and get into my groove and then try later on? I mean, that's a legit strategy.
For sure, both drivers, as you can see here at the front, liveries very similar, and well, for a very obvious reason here, I have to say. Jack Ashton and Kane Halliburton spin in the background from Daniele Cascado. The 14 SR10 is round, and this is a painful wait for Daniele Cascado. Can't get the car around, can't turn it around because all these cars are coming through. And he's dropped all the way down to P27. And it's only Men of the Graph now in the race who is behind him. Funnily enough, looking exactly the same as... Oh, he's on the racing line. Daniele, get away from there. Gets away from there, Daniele. Luckily, though, I think Men of the Graph saw him in...
Nothing worse than having a spin and just having to sit and wait. I can tell you that from experience. I've done that many a times. But he done the right thing, just waiting, and... it's such a shame for him because he was having a good run as well. But that's how quickly a circuit like Spa can bite you. Try and take a little bit too much curb, try and get on a power too early, and it can absolutely ruin your race. Bertie now within half a second. Let's see how strong this slipstream is. I've never personally driven this car, so I don't know firsthand what it is, but we can see the time coming down already. What's that, 2/10? That come down by? It didn't sound like he was pushing too hard either.
Oh, I think Tim Bertie at the moment, because this is what we've seen from Tim last season as well, is just taking it easy. By the way, Adam, we've got an answer in chat from Lucas Vieira, who was racing last season as well in the SR rates, together with Scotty Galligan, the Australian that never qualified. Biggles was always so mad that he didn't qualify because he actually had the pace. If you saw the pace from Scotty Galligan throughout the race, he was actually running quicker than the leaders. But the time that he always lost by getting through the field, in the end just compromised him to not take that victory. But then in the end, he himself said that the SR8 and the SR10 were the only cars he really drives. And he isn't really quick in any other car. But then again, if you've got the pace and you don't qualify, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot.
You are, and I just can't understand the mentality of it. Like, you've got to have veins of, well, I was thinking of like stone cold ice running through your veins. I couldn't put it into words, but you've got to have a certain mentality to do that. I don't think I could do that, you know. I think I'll put too much pressure on myself. But Baba, look at him, 20 places gained. He's now having a run at the back of Crab, surely not too wide through Blanchimont. That's dangerous. We've already seen issues already. Looked like Crab just backed out a little bit, but that's put him under pressure from Gonzaga behind, who switches to the inside, coming to the bus stop, and then backs out. That thinks better of it. Crab was playing a dangerous game there, possibly losing a couple of places, but Baba, what a charge. 21 gained already.
Now, I do have to say, before we went live, we'll go back to this battle, though. Jack Ashton has gotten past James Irebrand, but gets past again. The over and under from James Irebrand gets him back, that 5th position. However, both of them are going to run side by side up to Rouge. I was going to say for a second, but it is Ashton who takes the sensible way of going and tucks in behind to get the slipstream. Down the long Camel Straight, takes the outside though for Lecombe, not the favored side. In the background, it is Kike Ming also taking the outside for that corner. However, is Jack Ashton going to be able to make that move? He's not. Is Kike Ming going to be able to do it? Neither is he. There was a bit of a spin though in the background, I think. Here we go, 3 wide a little bit further back as well. David Walters tries to get past Greg Gregory. David Wallace stood up ahead of him, his teammate, the Tiger team. Is he going to make it stick? He is. But add some, you know, you got to be brave to put it up the inside there. So do you have to put it up the inside lead there. It's a corner that naturally puts you to the outside, Bruce Sells. now you've got to say through Speaker's Corner, it should be done. It is not. He hangs it round still.
Unbelievable from Walters. Unbelievable. A little bit of twitchy action behind with Gregory still trying to defend a position. But Walters, he would not give that up, would he? That was brilliant driving from the pair of them. Very respectful. Room was given. How do you see the number 23 running a little bit wide there?
Look at the pace that he's got towards anyone else. Last lap, he got past Gonzaga. There was a second gap to Ashton and Ibram in P5 and 6 ahead of him. He's closed that within 3/4 of a lap, basically. So he's now going to eye up Ashton ahead of him from Team Fordzilla. However, Ashton ahead of him has to slipstream from James Ibram. If something goes wrong ahead, he's there to pick up the pieces, but he's probably not going to wait that long. Jack Ashton needs to get a move on here, or he's going to get passed by Aaron Baba. The Belgium on home soil has got the confidence.
I wonder if Ashton is going to try and sit behind for the slipstream again. I think last time as they went over the top of Radion, oh no, he's been given the place. Ibram's given him the place. That's smart. He's going to tuck him behind now. In the background, we've got one off in the background coming out of the bus stop. Is that Craig Gregory who's gone back to the pits? After a smash out the bus stop, we come back to Gonzaga at the top with Ashton and Baba and Ibram. Oh, for a moment there, I thought they are going 3 wide. Unbelievable stuff up the Kemmel. Surely no bump drafting involved there from Ibram.
No way. This is
and
not.
Baba.
They're not going to make it like this. There's going to be contact. Inevitable. There's not. It is George Gonzaga who comes running and holding the 113. He almost taps the 23 of Aaron Baba round. Luckily though, and how they managed, I don't know, but there was no contact made. Aaron Baba still on the charge, but you can see now, the further he gets up the field, the quicker the drivers get, the more difficult it'll be to try and overtake. Tim Bertie is back out to an 8/10 gap. I think Tim Bertie, being champion last season, he knows. And remember, this man didn't win any race till the last race, where he already almost had picked up that championship without even winning. So this man knows how to win championships. Very consistent, Tim Bertie. If there's one man you can bet your money on that he's going to place well in almost every race that we do, it is Tim Bertie. He's shown that last season, taking the regular season championship without winning more than once that championship, and it was the last round of the season at Imola. Maxwell.
That's what you want in a championship. Maxwell, I mean, he's driving brilliantly. Just looking at the times on the timing page, he's actually driving really well. Can't get anywhere close to Bertie and Halliburton at the moment.
Oh, he's kind of driving in his own little bubble. He's quicker than Miguel, but isn't quite quick enough to catch up or keep pace with Kane Halliburton and Tim Bertie up front. So for him, I think just to consolidate P3 would be a good thing. Make no mistakes. Make sure you get to that checkered flag in P3. Maybe hope that something happens up ahead.
Just notice a little bit further back, Bjorklund has entered the pits. Not by towing back either. We've got 2 wide. Baba again going for it with Ibra.
Gonna make the double overtake.
3 wide, surely not into Lacombe. How have they managed to get through this?
Well, I think the same as they did last time round, where they didn't make any contact either. Aaron Baba is going to defend the inside for Brussels. Going to need to do that because the 8 of Ibram tries to send it round the outside. That was never going to be successful if you have Aaron Baba on your inside in Brussels. A corner that favours the inside driver. That's of course why the inside gets defended there. However, now next target on Baba's list is Ashton ahead. And then it is about a 6-second gap to Rudolf Nagel in P4. So I think he needs to get his move on if he wants to make that jump up into the top 4.
I was going to say that he's got a little bit of breathing space now with Ibram behind him. A couple of tenths gap, I don't think there's any time to relax. As long as they're in draft, they're going to be hounding each other. Brilliant driving from all three for two laps there. Ashton already, has he let off already? Is Bubba taking the inside? He has taken the inside for Blanchimont. Ashton looked like he eased out of that. That looked far too easy before the corner was done.
Well, he might go for the re-overtaking. Jack Ashton, it was not that he let him past. It was a genuine overtake. It was Slipstream, I think, that slung-shot him past, because Ashton has gone back past Bubba again. Or it was just completely tactical from Ashton to let Bubba pass there. Now Bubba's under pressure from Ibram behind him. Kettle Larson, we know that Kettle Larson is quick. He's also catching up to this battle. Has lost 2 positions from where he starts, so we know that he's quick. Qualified 6th. A little bit further back, Lindlau, the German, in P19. The second biggest gainer in the field in P19. He started all the way down in last position. He's now up into P19. But Bubba, is he going to make this pass back onto Ashton? It looks like he shouldn't get too far back.
Well, you say that, but he's made a move out to the inside, coming into Lacombe. Ashton gave him the space, and Bubba was, well, thank you very much, sir. I will take that space. But he's brought Ibram with him. Ashton, 2 places lost in 2 corners. He won't be liking that.
No, he won't be. However, he's going to fight back around the outside of Brussels. There you can see how it is to drive around the outside. If you get just 20 centimeters, I would say, too far to the outside, your corner is done, and you're going to hope that the guy behind you isn't going to slot in next to you for Speaker's Corner, because if you have the inside there, it is once again going to favor the other line, the outside. So, yeah, that is a corner where you really want to have the inside, and he did not defend it well there by Ibram, I have to say. But look at the gap that Bubba has already pulled here. It's unbelievable. James Ibram has now Jack Ashton and Kettle Larson behind him. Kettle Larson is on a charge to try and make up the position that he lost at the start.
12 minutes to go. Bubba 7 seconds behind, 6.7 seconds behind Nagal up ahead of him. I'm willing to wager that he will catch him, and we're going to see a fight in the last couple of laps. I think that is a real possibility. And Larson, as you were saying, he's watching this happen ahead of him. He's managed to catch up, and now he wants to get involved with Larson and Ibram as well.
Here we go then. Ashton is going to go for it down the inside of the bus stop chicane. He's once again going to do the same. He did last lap to Bubba. Oh, this time the up and under though from Ashton. Is it going to work? No, Ibram gets that better drive out of the corner. They're going to go side by side, probably into La Source. So this whole way down the straight, he gives it up because he knows La Source is coming up. The inside is favored. Dives down the inside. The up and under though from Jack Ashton once again. We've seen so many switchbacks. Switchback City it is this race. Jack Ashton, however, is under pressure now, going into Eau Rouge Radion of Ibram. And you have to say, with the drive that Ibram is going to get here, surely he's going to get him into the comp.
You would think so, but maybe was he too close to really get benefit from the draft? I know they're side by side now. Larson, he's getting involved now, 3 wide, then forcing his way to make that space. Who we got? Ashton on the inside, just defending from out of it, let them have space. But look at the group behind. Ming, Crab, Gonzaga, they're all approaching now. They're ready to join this battle. Still too wide as we head down into
Brussels.
Thank you.
I know these corners like the back of my hand because it is, well, it is kind of a backyard. So is it now for Ibram. He finally gets that drive. Like I said, Speaker's Corners favors the outside, and Ashton finally gets that drive. They were side by side for I think half of the lap there already. Ibram, however, has to settle now for 7 places under pressure from Kettle Larson. A little bit further up the road. Look at this then, the battle for the lead. It is tensed up again. Tim Bertie, 3 tenths, a bit less. The gap is now to Halliburton up front.
He's been saving his tyres, hasn't he? Seen the clock, 10 minutes to go. Now's a to the braking zone of the bus stop chicane. Is he going to make the move early, or is he just going to bide his time, maybe get the draft up the Kemmel Straight later on? Exactly what he's doing, just sits behind, going through the bus stop. And yeah, 10 minutes to go to take that lead.
I would have expected anything else, really, from Tim Bertie. He's quick, he knows that he's quick, he's going to bide his time. He's going to wait till the moment is right for him to overtake. And I can tell you, if he can stick behind till that second to last or last lap, it's going to happen on the second to last or the last lap. Tim Bertie, I think, is going to bite his time right now. Or he just wants to test Halliburton out. Of course, he doesn't know how they race. And I think he's going to go for the ladder. He's side by side now with the three of Halliburton. Outside though for Le Comte, so he's going to make it difficult for himself, and indeed he is going to stick behind. He's not going to lose too much time fighting for this one. And Team Fordzilla and Halliburton keep their first position for now.
This is a trial by fire for Halliburton, isn't it? First race in the series up against an absolute stalwart, an absolute legend of the series. This is where you learn how good you are, I guess, and fair play to Halliburton. He is holding his own so far, but I can only imagine more and more pressure from Bertie as the race goes on. Poor old Maxwell, we just got a little glimpse of him in the background, like you said earlier, in absolute no man's land, 5 seconds back from this battle, but doing well to keep hold of that last stop on the podium.
Now, Adam, if you're taking pictures, there must be like one livery that you always favor to take pictures of, and I have a feeling I know which driver you're going to favor for this series. Look at this livery, ladies and gentlemen. Kike Ming. If you've never seen more than 2 colors on a livery, I can tell you this is an absolute color bomb that he's thrown at this car, but it looks great.
I'm going to show my age here. I grew up in an era where t-shirts like that were fashionable. It's glorious. I absolutely love it. We need more liveries like that. Let's be honest. I love good proper motorsport liveries, but I also love fun ones like this. It stands out. You instantly know who it is. That doesn't matter where you are in the battle. You can see it. Oh, there's Ming. Got to have more of it.
What we've also got to have more of is this fighting between Ibrahim and Kettle Larson. Ashton has got a little bit of a gap now, 1.9 seconds, because he's pressurized by Larson. And who is he's Ibrahim, the man who fought off Ashton for at least 3-4 laps. And now he's got Kettle Larson, the flying Norwegian, behind him. Not the best drive out of the corner. It is though for Kike Ming. He's going to look to eye up both drivers in front of him. He's going to get a massive tow going up on Rouge Radillon. Look at the tow he's already getting.
Double tow. I mean, don't count out the guys behind. Triple, quadruple. I don't even know if iRacing model it that far back. They're all getting slipstream. They're all trying to find their own little spaces. 3 wide. Crazy, crazy driving, but they're making it work. These drivers seem to make it work. Brilliant from all 5 of them there. Somehow they're still side by side out the far end of Lacombe as well.
Well, it was Paul Crab who got past, then James Ibrahim, who's lost another position now. Kettle Larson trying to fend off Kike Ming, and also at the same time trying to tax James Ibrahim. That was a late dive, though, down the inside of Brussels. That would have never, ever worked, I would say. And he would always got his get his nose cut off. However, though, he's almost virtually pushing him into double gauche. Double left-hander for the people who are not French.
Pouon, sir. It's Pouon. I will stand my ground on that.
Okay.
It's Pouon.
I've got something here for you then.
Oh, no.
I've talked to someone who's in close relationship with the track owner. The track owner says it's double gauche, and I don't think you can go against the opinion of the track owner, really.
I'm an opinionated Englishman. I can go against anybody.
There we go. That's the whole reason why I call it double gauche now. Before, Pouon is so much easier when you do commentary to say, but double gauche is really the name of that corner if we go off what we've got from the track owner. So is Speaker's Corner. It's not no name. It actually has a name. Speaker's Corner is what the corner is called. Side by side further back, Kike Ming and James Ibrahim. He's about to lose another position. These last couple of laps for Ibrahim have been the worst. He's dropping back and, well, cars seem to be coming thick and fast behind him.
They are. I don't know how big the tyre wear is on these cars. I mainly drive GT3, so I'm used to kind of the heat cycles that you go through and, you know, trying to get back absolutely trashed tyres, because that's what I do to my tyres. But I don't know how it works with these cars. I have a feeling that because he's been battling so hard...
Tim Bertie caught in! Hold up, Kane Halliburton has had to cut off Lecombe. There was side-by-side action with Tim Burton and Kane Halliburton. It was the run up the camel straight, and then he went for it down the inside. I think we can have a look back at how exactly that materialized. Here we go. This is the battle between it. There was contact right there. I don't think there was contact. He just turned in a bit too early. Or Tim Burton did turned in a bit later than usual, but it made it that Kane Halliburton had to cut the chicane, and that has lost him a handful of tenths, maybe just over a second, and that has thrown this race completely on its head. It's Tim Burton now at the front of the race. A second is the gap indeed back to Halliburton, who is led for 26 minutes, but on that 26-minute mark, it was Tim Burton who went down the inside of Lecombe, took the forefront of this race, and for now is not looking back.
You can tell that Halliburton is pushing to get back with Bertie, though. On the timing tower on the left, for those that are new with us, if you see a little red number appear next to the driver's name, that means they've gone off track. Generally, that means they are pushing far too hard and have gone far too wide on an exit somewhere. But that's what Halliburton is doing right now. He's got 7 tenths. Great exit from the bus stop there. Wow, 3 tenths he gained coming through the entry and exit. Is he in draft range though? We'll have to find out.
Well, we're going to take a look though at this battle around the outsides of Bloodshed. Or surely, we saw Max Verstappen do it to Felipe Nasser back in 2016 or 2015, excuse me. But Mike Busson does it here to David Walters, and the 29 gets past the 12. Team Radline in front of the Tiger team, and Mike Busson chasing down now to Gordon Haig. Don't know if he's actually related to Henning Haig, who we saw 2 seasons ago in the SR10 as well. He was bloody quick, he was, and well, Haig at the moment, Gordon Haig seems to have the same of it. P12 for him at the moment. Tim Burton, however, here is that battle for the lead. 2.5 minutes to go. I said that Tim Burton would win this race. The champion would get this one off to a good start. However, this is kind of the fight between, the expectations that we had at the beginning of the race.
Absolutely. Halliburton's not giving it up, is he? He's down to half a second. Was a little bit closer a few corners ago, but he is pushing, and he's pushing hard. He's got this lap plus 1 more, plus 2 more. I'm not very good at maths. Let's go with plus 2 more to get this done. And we know that Bertie is just going to keep doing what he's doing. Concentrating, head down, driving smooth. Halliburton, see how much he is pushing there. A little bit of counter steer to try and correct the car on exit. Really pushing on now. 4 tenths behind. We'll see the draft come into play here. I think he might be a little bit too far back for the bus stop though.
3 tenths might be enough here. Look at that gap coming down. This is the run that he needs. Doesn't get quite the run that I expected him to get coming on a Blanchimont. This is indeed too far, but he is well within draft range now for that last run up onto Radiator Rouge. Down that Camel Straight. If he can stay within 3 tenths, he's in with a shot at it. Kane Halliburton starts the last lap behind Tim Burton, led for 26 minutes. The last 3 minutes have been for Tim Burton. However, it doesn't matter if you lead the first 10, 15 laps. Really, it matters if you lead that last lap. White flag is out. The last lap of the race. Look at the run that Kane Halliburton has got here.
Timed it beautifully. I was just thinking to myself, 3 tenths, 3.5 tenths might be enough, but you can see he's stalled out. Now that he's come out of the draft, he's stalled out, and Bertie is just holding that inside. What does Halliburton do here? Tries to hold it around the outside. We saw he had issues last time he tried to do that. Manages to keep it almost alongside as they go through Lecombe, down towards Bruxelles. Bertie taking defensive lines early on. That's the right thing to do. All he needs to do now is just defend, put his car in the defensive position as early as he can, make Halliburton think about his attacks. But Halliburton is right on the coattails, less than 2 tenths behind.
Well, it's easier said than done, though. It's not just defending it for Tim Burton, it's defending like a champion. And that is exactly what he's doing right now. Through Double Gorge, Pouon, whatever you want to call it, into Lifan. The last time, really, that I think he can attack before we get that run down to Blanchimont, the bus stop chicane. Halliburton is going to try it up the inside, round the outside. Well, I would stick behind if I was Halliburton here. He's got that long run through Stavelo, through Kerpool Frere, and through Blanchimont. He's got the run. Well, he for sure is going to try it round the outsides of Blanchimont. I can tell you that Bertie's going to hold that inside. Bertie's going to drive like a champion. We know how quick Bertie is in the SR8. We know how quick he's in the SR10. Round the outside for Kane Halliburton. He's got it done the inside now for the bus stop chicane. And surely he's not going to give this one up. And he gets ahead of Tim Bertie through the bus stop. The run out of the bus stop, though, for Tim Bertie is going to be a big one. Gets a bit of a snap. And Kane Halliburton wins the first race of the season. Tim Bertie slots in behind him, led for about 3.5 minutes in this race, but Kane Halliburton, the man who in the end led for about 95% of this race, gets his very well-deserved victory. What a drive, Kane Halliburton.
Unbelievable from the pair of them. Absolutely beautiful driving, gave themselves plenty of room. Bertie tried to get the nose tucked in at the exit of the bus stop, tried to get the drive, got a twitch, which basically ruled him out of any drag race to the line, which was unfortunate for him. But beautiful driving from both of them. Halliburton wanted that, and he went and got it.
Oh, God. David. I've got something here for you on the finish line. David Rolliston, all on his own for the Tiger team. Spin it round, going into the bus stop chicane. A little bit too much on that right pedal. Ooh, saved it nicely, though.
Lovely save. That was a great save, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I heard the tires squeaking when we switched to that shot to Kim Andre Björklund or Glenn Christensen. And I was like, someone has spun. And I look on my timing screen, and it says that David Rolliston has crashed at the exact same time that I heard those tires squeak. So I'm like, oh, no, he hasn't spun around and lost the position, right? But he indeed didn't. However, everyone has almost come across the line. We're waiting for Davies to come across the line. He's almost a full... I think he was almost a full lap behind. There we go. Through Campus and Stavelo. The run through Curveball Frere. Or Curveball Frere. Through Blanchimont into the bus stop chicane. But what a race. Well, Radical Sim Racing World Series. It's back. And... it's back with a banger, I have to say, with Halliburton taking the victory in the last corner on the last lap. And it went right down to the wire. I think if Bertie wouldn't have gotten the snap that he got on the acceleration out of the bus stop chicane, he would have been able to challenge Halliburton for that victory still on the run-up to the line. It is a short run-up, but I still think here, Adam, that he would have been able to challenge him. However, everyone has come across the line, and... to you, Sir Adam Hedgecock, the privilege of reading the final result.
Well, thank you very much. Kane Halliburton is your winner by a mere 0.2 over Tim Bertie. Great scrap we saw right at the end. Luke Maxwell held on to his third place, all on his lonesome for most of that. Rudolf Nagal and Eric Babber round out your top 5. Then we have Ashton, Larston, Crab and Gonzaga, with Ming rounding out your top 10. We have Mike Busson, David Walters, Gordon Haig, David Rollinson, and Kim Andre Bjorkland as your top 15. 16th, Glenn Christensen. 17th, John McCutchinson. 18th, Bastian Lindlau. 19th, Damien Gee. And 20th, Gary Truby. And then we have in the 21st place, good old Sandro Capella. Speak to him a lot recently. Sandro, nice guy. 22nd, James Ebram. He must have had some issues because he's dropped right the way down since we last saw him battling in the top 10 there. Guy Robertson is 23rd. Menno de Graaf is 24th. 25th is Danielle Cascado. Graham Brown, 26th. Chris Max Davies, 27th. Craig Gregory, 28th. And Aaron Bremer in 29th, rounding out the grid, the results, and the race. What a beautiful race to start the season with.
I mean, couldn't have asked for more if you wanted to. This is an absolutely amazing start to the season. If you want to know, however, what races we're going to. Quickly, the calendar here for you. Nürburgring Nordschleife is going to be the next round of the season. The Industriefahrten, so without the Grand Prix Strecke. So we exclude that. We only take the Nordschleife, which is going to be absolutely amazing for a second round of the season. Then Alton Park Circuit, then WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca. Circuito de Jerez, we skip. Then we have Silverstone Circuit, Sebring International Raceway, Road Atlanta, and Mount Panorama for round number 8. And then we have the season finals at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. What a race to round it off as. But let's have a chat to our top 3. And let's start with the man who, in the end, finished P3, but had a bit of a lonely race. Hello there, Luke Maxwell.
Hey guys, yes, that was quite a lonely race, but
Still awake?
I'm all right with that. Quite happy going around trying to. Well, I lost the toe quite early on. I think to the guys in front. I made a small mistake, and as soon as it was over a second, that was it. I just couldn't get back on their tail. So it was just a case of trying. I could see Rudolph closing in on me and thinking, let's just see if I can hold this one out. But he was quick, so yeah, it was tricky. But yeah, very happy.
Now, at any point there, Luke, was there a moment where you thought, oh, I hope up front something happens and then I'm there to pick up the pieces?
It crossed my mind briefly, but yeah, I thought these guys are very, very experienced drivers, right? They're not probably going to be making silly mistakes, I would think. So yeah, I didn't think there was much chance of that, to be honest, but it did cross my mind.
Now, we're going to be asking this to everyone. So also to you, of course, you've got your season off to a good start with a podium finish. What's going to be your general goal for the season? Where do you want to be come the end?
Well, it's such a strong strength of field. I mean, coming into this race, I've not done this series before. I did a couple of races, I think, in the first one, but not really done this series. So the strength of field is very strong. I've had a bit of practice at Spa this week, so I suppose I was hoping for like a top 10. To be honest, that was my goal.
Okay.
But I knew my qualifying pace was okay, so I thought if I can hang on in there and keeping the toe, we'll be all right. But yeah, I mean the season, look, it's racing with John and Paul and Mike, so we'll see how we go. But I think there's a lot of competition here, so I'm not expecting to be podiuming every week, that's for sure.
So I guess you're just going to take it race by race and see, the pace on every track.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
for sure.
Well, that goal of 10th, far exceeded with a top 3 finish. Last question. What's your experience like in the SR10?
Yeah, so I do the RRS series for a few seasons now, so the UK and Ireland one. But that's obviously open setup. So yeah, I kind of, when the SR10 came out, it seemed to suit me quite well. So I think I adapted quite quickly to it, whereas others were struggling initially from that sort of switch between SR8 and SR10, because the SR10 was a bit broken last season. We ran the SR8 again, and I wasn't as quick. I'm not as quick in that car as I am in this one. It seems to suit me. So yeah, bring it on. Let's hope it stays in good shape.
Yeah, all right there, Luke. A good finish. Congratulations on your first podium this season. Hopefully the first of many.
Yeah, thanks guys. I'll go and watch you back.
Well, that was Luke Maxwell. I would say there, Adam, very happy with his finishing position, and rightly so. If you come in with the expectation of finishing top 10, we move on then to the regular season champion from last season, and came very close starting his season off with a victory that he only got one of last season. Tim Bertie, welcome in.
Welcome, guys. Hi.
Well, how are you after that race?
Sweating.
Well, I mean, yes, I can understand.
Not only due to the temperatures, though, because it's pretty damn hot here, somewhere in Germany. But also trying to keep up with Kane all race long, and then trying to defend him off when I was on the lead. Yeah, made me sweat quite a bit. Yes.
Now, Tim, you, best of anyone in the field I know, or I think, will know what it takes to become a champion. You don't need to win, however, you must be good at coming that close to it going into the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, actually, the most part of the race, I was pretty happy to somehow stay with Kane because he had the insane pace. To be honest, he's so much faster than me. I could count myself lucky, very lucky to just still be there because he pulled me away from the rest of the pack quite a lot. And yeah, but once I was in the lead, I somehow wanted to win it too, and then it felt a bit bad when he pulled the move around the outside of Blanchimont there in the last turn or last lap, and then went for it in the bus stop. But still, I think I can be pretty happy with that outcome of the race.
For sure. Now, it wasn't the only time that he had the outsides for for Lecom, because I think 4 laps before the end, you made the move up the inside. Was there any contact?
There was actually contact, I think. I don't know if it was a net code or there was actual contact, and I saw him going off in the mirror. I mean, he was 1.5 seconds or something behind me then, and it still shows his pace because he was back there in my draft in no time. Yeah, I'm not sure if there was anyone to blame with that contact racing incident, I would say probably.
Well then, Tim Bertie, thank you very much. Congratulations on your podium. My last question for you is, what's your goal for the season? Once again, defending your championship, I would say.
I mean, regarding the actual pace, I mean, to become champion, you still have to have quite a bit of pace, which I don't have, at least not compared to Kane. So I'd say if Kane shows up every time without drop rounds, then there's probably no way for me to become champion. But I just make the best out of it and see where I finish.
Right, Tim. A very warm thank you from everyone here. Everyone is happy to see you in the SR10, and back with the Radical Sim Racing World Series. Thank you very much for coming in, and congratulations on your second place.
Thank you very much. See you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye. Well then, that was a happy German we had. Next one into the booth, and the last one into the booth. A man who, at the beginning of qualifying, we didn't really know what to expect from. But then he pulled through, and he had about a 4.5 gap to Tim Bertie. Kane Halliburton, welcome in.
Hello, hello.
Kane, tell us from your perspective, how was that race, and how nervous were you when you had to go off track, avoiding contact with Tim?
Yeah, the start of the race, I thought it was going to have it easy. I had Tim right on the edge of my draft. I thought I'd be able to drop him, but he did a good job staying with me. And at that point, I knew it was going to come down to the last 2 or 3 laps. As for the contact, it was a little bit of netcode, just a racing incident. But I knew that I had enough pace to get back in the draft, so I wasn't too nervous. I think the end of the race was exciting for sure, though.
Well, for sure. You put us on the edge of our seats, to be honest, with that last lap overtake going into the bus stop chicane. Did you know before you exited Starvelo that you had him lined up?
Yep, that move was the plan all along. I knew if I overtook him before that, he would have just done the same to me. So, all those overtake attempts before were just trying to make him sweat a bit, maybe force a mistake. But I knew into the bus stop would be where the real action happens.
So what you're saying here, Kane, is that the racing incident that that happened was all part of your plan. Well, Kane, a big congratulations on your victory. Last question, and then we'll let you go. We'll let you go and enjoy your victory. Is what is your goal for this season? Surely, after winning this race, you must have high hopes for the championship.
Yep, sure. Although there are some quick guys. Errand, he messed up his qualifying. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have been battling for the win too. So, although I do expect to be fine for the championship, it's not going to be too easy.
Yeah. All right then, Kane. Thank you very much. Congratulations on your victory, and well, good luck because you're gonna need it next time at the Nordschleife.
Thanks, guys.
Well, that was Kane Halliburton, the winner of this race. Adam, what an amazing race we've seen here as a first race, and I have to say this gets me so pumped up though for the Nordschleife. However, we do have to say that the Nordschleife is different to any other race we're gonna have this season.
By a long stretch. The Nordschleife is completely different to any other track anywhere in the world. It is a challenge, and then another challenge, and then 30 more challenges piled on top of that. It is incredibly technical and difficult. Can I just say, by the way, that Kane and Tim there, it's almost like they are they're so chilled. Like they've just won a race and come second, had a brilliant battle the last couple of laps there. I think my heart is like pumping harder than theirs right now, just watching it. Like, fair play to them for being so cool and calm, and like that takes some doing, doesn't it?
I mean, I guess that's why they're so quick, fighting. It's well, a friend of mine always says if you want to be quick, you have to drive without emotion. And I think those two are very good at doing that. Of course, if I would have been in their position, the adrenaline would have been pumping through my veins, and I wouldn't know where to go. I would be shaking come the end of the race. But yeah, like amazing race. It went down to the wire. Not only that, you have to say that the Belgium, with messing up his qualifying, I think ruined the shot at the victory. Aaron Baba finished P5, up 23 positions.
Outside of winning the race, of course, I think he was the star of the day, wasn't he? An unbelievable drive.
He's my driver of the day.
I have to agree with that. The amount of positions gained and the intensity of the fighting as well that we saw. There was a few packs, wasn't there, sort of 4 or 5 cars deep that were just going at it and not wanting to give an inch, but still driving respectfully at the same time. It was wonderful to watch. But Baba, it was funny because you said it right at the start of the broadcast. Yeah, and it come true. What a drive.
Yeah. Well then, Adam, thank you very much for being alongside me here in the commentary booth. I hope at the end of the race we'll see some incredible pictures from this race. What a race you've had to start the season off. Kane Halliburton, your winner of today, ahead of Tim Bertie, your regular your regular champion from the last season. Of course, for the people who've forgotten, it wasn't too long ago, about 3 weeks, 3 weeks, when Jürgen Frank took, he took the complete championship. He took the finals, he took the victory in the finals. So that wasn't too long ago. It feels like yesterday, I have to say. Anyways, I thank you very much for watching, because we can keep rambling on about this race till tomorrow morning, but I don't think anyone really wants to hear that, Adam. Anyways, thank you very much for being alongside me in the commentary booth. Thank you guys at home, or wherever you may be in the world, for watching. Next time out, we have the Nordschleife, the Touristfahrt. So we have only the Nordschleife, no Grand Prix Strecke. I will see you then. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe. Bye-bye.